Okay, this is Mountain Man. Today I've got a new manufacturer polymer magazine for the FALs. This is a Moses Mag 20 round FAL polymer magazine. The guy that makes these has been researching and developing and perfecting this product for the last 3 years or so. There's been a thread on the FAL files, which is a FAL specific forum, for about 3 years, maybe a little longer, and the guy's finally decided that it's to the quality that he wants it to be and has released these for sale. He's covered up with orders for these right at the moment as well. I think it took close to 2 months from the time that I sent the money to the time that I received these, and it looks like a great magazine. He's done some videos where they tested these full auto and semi-auto, ran over them with a truck several times, and they function fine. So it's supposed to be a very good quality magazine. I've yet to fire any, test fire any of these. In fact, this is a new DSA 18-inch FAL rifle that I've yet to fire as well. What I'm doing is a little bit of fitment on these magazines, or fitment modification. The very first magazine that I pulled out of the box, out of 8 of these, it was actually the worst one. Wouldn't you know, first one out of 8 that I pulled out of the box had to be the one that was the worst. The issue that I was having is when you insert the magazine, that actually clicked in a little bit. It's very tight, but it did click in. The first one wouldn't click. You just had to push the thing in as far as you could get it to, and then kind of tug on it to make sure that it was locked in, because it did not make any kind of clicking sound at all. Contacted the manufacturer of these, and he quickly responded to me and said that they were intentionally made to be tight. This is a new rifle, supposedly the newer DSAs, or the tightest of all the FALs, and he made them to this tolerance intentionally because some FAL rifles are very loose, and didn't want the magazine to be too loose in those particular rifles. So what he recommended doing was on this locking lug, very lightly filing and removing a little bit of material at a time, test fitting, until you get it to where it makes a audible click, and you know for sure that it's locked in. And like I said, this one actually does it a little bit. It's a little tighter than I want it to be, but it does click some. The very first one would not do that. You just had to push it in as far as you possibly could, tug on it, make sure that it was locked in. After I lightly filed on the locking lug of it, and it did take the most filing of all the mags that I've done so far, but it latches right in. In fact, this is it, and it makes a really good positive click, so you know it's in there right, which is how the metal mags will normally do. And this is the factory mag that came with the rifle. But what you actually have to do is just remove a little bit of material on the bottom side of this locking lug, and once you do that, it will have that more positive audible click sound where it's latched in. And this one has not been done yet, but it does fit a little better than those first few, especially that first one. And just try to hold the file as flat as you can across, so it's removing the material evenly, and I'm really not even pressing down on that at all, and it's still removing the material. That's a little bit better. I'm actually wanting it a little bit looser than that. Don't want to take too much off, so I'm going to take a little bit and test fit. Each time it's getting a little better, but still not quite where I would like for it to be. I would like it to be a little bit closer to the how the factory metal mag fits. That's pretty good there. I'm going to do just a little bit more. Alright, I think that is where I want it to be. Another issue was not only that it didn't make that audible click to let you know that it was engaged, but releasing the magazine before filing a little bit of the material off was very difficult. This latch was very tough to push forward to disengage the mag on that first one. So that's all it really takes is just a little bit of material filed off of that. At first I was disappointed because it didn't fit the way I wanted it to right out of the box, but the owner of the company, he got back to me very quickly, told me what needed to be done, and yeah, I was a little disappointed to start with, but it's not that big of a deal. And as you see, it's just a few minutes. And if your rifle is one of the tighter ones, then it won't take long at all to modify several magazines to where it'll fit a little better. And I also understand why the manufacturer done it this way, so the looser tolerance rifles will still have a good tight fit on the magazine. But just so happens for this particular rifle, a little tighter than I would like. Just a little bit more on this one. There we go. Alright, so that's all of them except for one. Just got one more to go. I'm not going to do it on camera. I'm going to stress test it though. If they can run over it with a truck, I don't think dropping it on the floor is going to hurt it. But as soon as I get a chance to test fire these, I'll do some more video, get to see a little more action, and also see how they function for me. I've watched several videos from the manufacturer where they've done quite well, even under full auto, running over with the truck. I'm not going to go to that extent, but I will do some function testing while I'm sighting it in and target practicing a little bit. But as soon as I get a chance to take this thing outside and try it out, I will. Hopefully within the next few days I'll get to do that, but we'll see what happens. But if you're interested in these, they're supposed to be a really good magazine, and after a little bit of filing on a tight fit rifle, they fit quite well. And once it's latched in, there's little to no movement at all, unlike with the metal magazine's got quite a bit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it won't function. I've had AKs where there was more movement than that and they still worked okay. But anyway, once we get this thing outside and firing, I'll do another video and we'll see how it goes.